Welcome to Lesson 12, Creating Images for Web and Video. In this little video snippet, you're going to see how you can slice up an image in Photoshop. It can be an image or graphics or whatever you want to create a web page or a graphic for a web page or a nav bar or whatever it may be that you need to use out on the web. Now, in this example, you'll see that I've opened up the PS1201_done.html file that is in your PS12 Lessons folder. You'll notice that when I cross over sales or service or about us, that you, depending on the operating system that you're in, you'll see an alt tag that might say sales or service or about us or contact. Now, sometimes if you're on the Mac, depending on the browser that you're in, you may not see those alt tags. Now, you'll also notice that when I click on these various items, that they take me to the assigned pages. And these are just dummy or default pages that were created to show this as an example. But I just went to service.html or about.html or contact. So now let me show you how you can do this on your own. I'm opening up PS1201.psd, and first of all, he's kind of going the wrong direction. I'm going to take him and slice him up. But before I start, I'm going to choose Image, Rotation, Flip Canvas Horizontal. Next, I'm going to take my type tool, and just to show you an example of how this is done, I'm just going to put two different type layers in here. And the first one, I'll just click and type in sales. And then if I want to change the font size or whatever, of course, you can select your text and use your options at the top. Now, I'm sticking with the defaults here, but don't forget your keyboard commands that can help you to do this, especially visually. Like, for instance, Control-Shift greater than or lesser than let you make your text size larger or smaller. Those of you who forget what greater than and lesser than look like, lesser than, greater than. Look for those on your keyboard. Now, I can also change my font by selecting it up in the options bar and just simply pressing my arrow key down or up. Now, it's important to have your type selected, and now I can go through all the lovely different typefaces that I have installed on this machine. I'll just stick with that. And if I'm happy with it, I can press Control Enter, or if you're on the Mac, you can press Command Enter. It's the same thing as you pressing the commit button up here. Now, I've got this text in here. I'm going to put in one more text layer. And notice that when I'm on the type tool and I have this I bar with a box around it, that means I am creating a new text layer. I see a lot of people confused about this. Notice when I cross over, the box disappears. That means I'm editing that existing text layer, creating a new one. I want to create a new one. Click. Service. Commit. It remembered my type style and font size and everything else. So this is our really complicated web page. And yes, this is not a good idea to do for a web page, but I'm just showing you slicing up. So don't do this at home. Follow the exercise in your book, but I want you to see how it's done. Now I'm pressing Control R to bring up the rulers, and I'm just pulling guides down. And the guides I pull out, I'm just visually aligning between these items, and these will be creating my slices. And slices are like putting pieces of a puzzle together. If I create my slices with guides, I can even go through and even kind of merge some of these together so that it conserves on space a little bit. Now I've got these guides in place, and I am just choosing the slice tool, which is hidden underneath the crop tool. And there's this handy dandy little button that says create slices from guides. Boom, done. Now I really don't need all these slices. I might want to take this slice right here, for instance. So I'll switch to my slice select tool, click on it, shift click, and then what I can do is I can right click or control click if you're on the Mac and say combine these slices. Now, it gets a little confusing when you're still seeing the guides, so what I suggest is that you clear your guides after you've created your slices. Then I'll take this slice, and this slice. So again, I'm on the Slice Select tool. I'm holding down the Shift key and selecting these slices. I right-click, say Combine Slices, and maybe I'll take this one and this one, combine slices. You can do whatever order you want. I'm just randomly picking these to show you how this is done. Now, I can also take a slice with the Slice Select tool, and I can choose some information up here. So you'll see Set Options, a little button up here in the options bar. When I click on that, I can say, hey, when somebody clicks on that, can you send them to service? Oops, this is sales. Excuse me, sales.html. And target, I could put blank if I wanted to create a new page, or you can just leave it as it is to replace the existing web page with the sales page. If I want message text, I can add it there, and then alt tag, I can put in here sales, and this is what people will see when they cross over that link. And I press OK. That easy. Click on service, open this up again, and maybe this time it's going to service.html and alt text service. Oops. Skip that. Okay, and alt text service. Okay. Okay, so now maybe I'm happy with this. Let me just show you a couple of things that you can do with this. I choose File, Save for Web and Devices. And when I choose this, up comes a preview of this slice page. And I can take my Slice Select tool here and select slices again. Now, if I wanted to really conserve on space, I could say, hey, you know, this particular image, I want it to be a GIF, and I only want it to have 8 colors. And, you know, don't dither. Dither is that really weird effect that happens when you don't have enough color. And I can change that and say, no dither, to get that posterized look. Both bad. But notice that I can do this. I can come in and set each slice in here. I could say this one's a PNG 8. I could say this one is a GIF. This one's a PNG. Again, just showing you. Here, we'll do 24 for that. And this one is a JPEG. Again, just giving you an example of how you can break this down. Now, how some people do use the slicing mechanisms is that they might have exterior parts of an image being a lower res JPEG than a part that's more critical, just to conserve on space. But you typically wouldn't do something where you would make one slice a GIF and one slice a JPEG. Again, just show you extreme so you can work with this. Now, other things here that I can do, I can come in here and I can even choose that I want to preview this in my browser. So I'll choose Edit List and Add, because I don't have any browsers loaded in here. Go into my computer and find my program that I want to use. And in this case, let's say that I'm going to use Internet Explorer. I choose that once, and then it appears all the time. So you might have to do this the first time that you want to preview, but you'll see that now I can preview this directly in the browser, and there it is with all these strange different settings. But also, do you see my little alt tags appearing? And those are acting as links. Okay, so I'm happy with this. I click on Save, and I've got some settings in here that I can change. A couple different things. One is if I leave this as is, only the images are being saved, and they'll be saved in the folder of my choosing, and each sliced image will be a separate file. I can also choose to save HTML images, and in this setting, I could save tables, or I could save these as components of cascading styles. And you can go in and choose custom settings, and you'll notice that when I come in here and choose some of these things, like for instance, let me change the default settings just so that you can see what I've got. We'll go into Other, and notice that I can change the slices. Maybe I want them to generate CSS or cascading styles instead of a table. Maybe I want to change the default name of these. I can change the background and apply a different background. I can go into the HTML and change how the HTML looks. So lots of things that you can change to help customize the HTML that's coming out of Photoshop. I'll click OK, and then I'll just choose to save this out of my desktop. In fact, I'll go into my Lesson 12 file, create a new folder so that you can see this a little bit better. And this is my result. Open that up. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into my desktop. And now I'm not going to save it. So going back to my desktop, I open up the PS12 lesson folder. I open up results. And in here, I've got my page that was created. This is my .html page, and then all the slices that came from that. So you could use this to send to your web person who's creating your website, or you can use it yourself if that's what you do. You can even open up that HTML page in Dreamweaver or any other web editing program and continue to edit it.